Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green. It's my pleasure to welcome to the KCCK studio Chris Navarette, who is the new jazz director here at Kirkwood. Chris, welcome.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And Kenyon Brenner, who is a guest artist at Kirkwood this weekend from Southern California. Kenyon, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Dennis. Happy to be here.
Yeah. We have so many activities on the Kirkwood campus that Chris has dubbed it Jazz Week, with master classes and actually 2 concerts all coming up. But before we dive into that, as I said, Chris, you're new to Iowa, new to Kirkwood. You came here from California. How's it going?
I'll tell you what. Today is one of the cold days that I've been warned about. I bet a lot of people are even just laughing at that comment because it's not even that cold yet. But to me, I can feel it.
Yeah. It's above freezing.
Yeah, that's right. It's been an absolute whirlwind of a ride out here in the best way possible. I have a community band that I teach on Tuesday nights, and I tell them every time my experiences every week of what I encounter. And the one thing that comes up every time is just how warm and welcoming everybody is out here. Even though I'm away from home, this is very much becoming my new home.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that things are going well. I knew they would. And you've jumped in with both feet. Like you said, you're directing the Kirkwood Concert Band as well as all the Kirkwood bands, a couple of new ensembles that we'll talk about as well. And we've roped you into the Corridor Jazz Project as well. You're going to be getting involved in that in January, and we'll be very excited to have you involved in our big recording project that we do.
Yeah, and meeting you all in the summertime, that was a beautiful thing with
you showed up just about the time that we were doing our jazz band camp.
Yeah, that was a hoot.
And we roped him in there too to work on stuff, and spoiler alert, more to come. Once we get our hooks in, there's no leaving.
I'm excited. I love working with you all and playing. This is super fun for me.
Good. Well, like I said, a big week this week on the Kirkwood campus, and Kenyon is in as guest artist. Kenyon, as I said, again, welcome.
Thank you.
You, Colorado native, spent much of your career in Colorado. You went to the University of Northern Colorado, which is, I think, where the two of you crossed paths first. Also, we mentioned earlier that Mike Conrad, who is well known to our audience, was there at the same time. So you've known a few of us over the years.
Yes, I have. It's been a great experience to know people like you guys.
You were on the faculty at Northern Colorado for some years, but then fairly recently, in the last 3 or 4 years, have relocated to Southern California. And tell me how you keep busy there.
I stay busy with just a fairly active performance schedule. Interestingly, I played mostly jazz in Colorado, but out in Southern California, there's just such a vibrant music scene, and I've just been doing everything. It's really great, and I've also been able to find quite a few students. So I'm working with private students and working with a couple of the music programs in Orange County, and it's just been really awesome. A lot of music happening over there.
There is, and I hear what you say about playing a little bit of everything, because that is really the life of a musician. I like to say specialization is for insects.
I like that.
When you're going to make a living in music, you got to be prepared to go and do what the gigs require.
And what a gift it is to play in different genres and experience how great music can be, no matter what the instrumentation or the style, as long as the energy's there and the groove's there. It's wonderful.
As I said, you spent a lot of your career at the University of Northern Colorado, so you went to school there and then taught there, and now continuing to teach in Southern California.
Yeah.
So as you come in to a project like this, where you're coming in for just a few days to work with some students, and every experience is different, of course, but I'm betting there are some things in your toolbox that you tend to pull out most times in working with young players. So just tell me a little bit about when you walk into a room and are getting ready to clinic with a couple of musicians or a full band, what that looks like.
Yeah, I really deeply believe that every student is a little bit different, and reaching each student when teaching music requires just getting to know a little bit about them. But my recent musical educational research has been focused around how to shift the focus of learning music into the perspective of teaching a language. I guess if there's something in my toolbox that I've been reaching for more lately, it's this concept of how do we approach improvisation and music from the perspective of a language. And so that's something I'll be focusing on a lot, and something that I think is pretty revolutionary, at least for me in my head and the way I think about it. And I've had a lot of fun working with younger students, especially from that perspective.
I'm guessing that then that would probably involve a little more playing by ear training, listening training, things like that. Here, I'm going to play this. Now you play it. The same way you learn a language. You have to hear it before you can speak it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of potentially diving into analysis, so some music theory in order to understand what these musical words we're working with are and how we can use them. But it's also something that encourages a lot of experimentation and creativity. And I go back to the concept of when we're first learning a language, our native languages, we start by just babbling and finding words and not being afraid of making mistakes and stuff like that. So yeah. Chris,
you're working Kenyon pretty hard this week. I know that you've had some stuff going on the Kirkwood campus during the day, but then you've got an evening master class on Thursday and then a couple of concerts coming up. Run the schedule down for us.
So Thursday, working with my great colleague, Dr. Allison Holmes-Bendixson. She is in charge of this luncheon listen that we host on Sammy's stage. So we're going to be playing at that time at 11:15 in Sammy's stage. That will be us, so Kenyon and I, and the student group, the student combo. So we'll play there. Thursday night, we'll have a jazz improvisation clinic starting at 7 p.m., and that's in Ballantyne Auditorium. That'll be fantastic. And then we have our concerts. Friday at 7:30 p.m., we have the student jazz combo opening up. They're playing a bunch of great things out of the Great American Songbook, as well as arrangements that they have done, as well as the Kirkwood Jazz Ensemble, in which we'll be featuring vocalists, Mr. Brenner here, and a slew of composers that I don't know if you've ever heard of Bob Mincer or Radiohead or even Annie Booth. We're playing a piece by Annie Booth. That's Friday night. And then Saturday, we're extending it a little bit further, something a little bit more commercial. This semester I've been blessed and have the privilege to be working with a commercial group. So that group will be playing popular music, opening up for Saturday night. And then concluding that evening will be the CR Big Band under the direction of Blake Shaw. Going to be a super fun time. It's busy, that's for sure.
The Pop Combo is new this year. How did that come about?
Student interest, primarily. So one of the courses that I teach here is small instrumental ensembles, and everybody signed up for it. And so what I did was I split the group into 2 groups and configured the orchestration. And to have some diversity, I asked them, would you guys be interested in doing a popular group and a jazz group? And so we did that way, came up with tunes list, and started getting to work.
Nice. Yeah. And of course, CR Jazz continues to be the community big band, and we were able to keep Blake Shaw roped in to stay directing that. And you've been hanging out with them and playing a little bit too, as you've had time, I think.
Yeah, he's amazing. What an amazing person and musician. Kenny, I can't wait for you to meet him.
I'm excited.
He's great. He does it all. And I've had the privilege of playing a few gigs with him in Iowa City. And every time I play with him, there's always something he brings to the table. And I learn something every time.
It's wonderful to have you both here. Chris, we've been hanging out as you've had time this semester, and I just really applaud everything that you've been doing to continue to grow and develop Kirkwood's already great instrumental jazz program. And Kenyon, I know you're going to be impressed by the students that you get to work with, and also the adults in the community CR Jazz Band who are really serious and devoted but have a great time.
That's awesome.
Doing this.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So a lot of activities this week for you to check out with the Kirkwood Jazz program. Kirkwood.edu/ballantyne is probably the best place to see the full schedule and get tickets for the concerts. Oh, and I believe it's one ticket for both the Friday and the Saturday concerts, so you only have to pay once, right?
That's right. A part of this, you get one ticket and you can come to everything.
All right. Gentlemen, it's a fun week. I'm looking forward to Jazz Week as we dive in. And Kenyon, thanks again for making the trip here, and have fun working with all our musicians.
Thank you, and thank you so much for bringing us in.
Thanks to both of you.
Thank you, Dennis.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.